Good morning, everyone. Welcome to A Market Open, not the Market Open. Welcome to A Market Open. I'm your host, Sam Badawi, and the reason why I'm stepping in is because Amit is getting a root canal this morning, and I wanted to deliver the news to you. Okay, we don't want to leave you guys hanging. We want the show to go on. So, with that being said, in case you don't know who I am, I am a tech investor and a trader by nature, but my reason for being here is to basically filter out all the noise that's out there by bringing the noise to your table. So I know the way that sounds is that I'm going to bring noise to your table, but I'm going to filter out all that junk and basically give it to you in layman terms so you can understand in accordance with the themes that are in the market. So by nature, I am more of a long-term swing trader, not necessarily an investor, like a buy and hold type of person. But given that we are like literally on the fourth industrial revolution where AI is really going to change everything, I think we're pretty early in the game. And I think there's a lot of upside to go. But I don't think that upside is going to be a straight line from here. It's going to be a very bumpy road. But if you kind of zoom out, you pay attention to the important details of what's happening, then you might be able to hold on for the ride and reap a lot of upside, similar to what we had seen in the last couple of years. So, with that being said, let's get right into it, guys. What is going on? What is going on, June? Oh, Sam, this is weird. No, I am on time. I am on time. Surprisingly, if you guys watch the Hidden Edge with me and Kris, we're usually pretty late, so we're doing pretty good. All right, yeah. What's going on, guys? What's going on? What's going on? Oh man, there's a lot of people here, man. I love all you guys. Thank you for coming here and joining me. There you go. Dude, definitely practice in front of me. Yeah, I did practice in front of a mirror probably for the last 2 minutes, but I usually like to wing things. So that's how I roll. All right, what's going on, Kris? All right, guys. It is very early in California. It's 5:15 a.m. over here. Okay, like I've been up since 3 o'clock this morning. Went to the gym and then took a shower and headed over here. I literally just sat in front of my desk right now. So, and I've been trying to keep up with the markets, but for the most part, it seems like the biggest thing that's going to happen this morning, with the exception of the news that we got last night, which I'll get into a little bit, is that Jerome Powell is going to be speaking at the Community Bank Conference at about 8:30 a.m., which is in about 15 minutes. My plan is to stream just probably the beginning of it, because sometimes whenever we get these conferences that are not necessarily the FOMC meeting, we don't necessarily get big news at all. So it is kind of a vol dampening situation, unless, of course, he says something that's completely different. But being that this is at a community bank conference, I highly doubt it's going to happen. So I don't want to spend a whole lot of time playing this stream, but just want to play that for you as soon as it starts. But with that being said, I mean, guys, we're here at all-time highs in the market. We thought that we were at a top a couple days ago, much like how we pretty much always think all the time. But as taking part in this secular trend, like we got to kind of hold through those shakeouts per se, because a lot of people do get shaken out along the way. And you see a day like yesterday where people just rush back in and the Qs are up 1% after only dropping a few basis points the prior day. So last night, in case you have missed the news, NVIDIA, actually, I'll bring up the tweet right here. The U.S. had actually approved a few $billions, or they didn't actually give a dollar amount of chip sales to the UAE. Let me actually just bring this guy up right here. All right. This is my Twitter account, by the way. So if you guys aren't watching on Twitter, that's my account in the comment. Oh, hey, look who it is right there. That's me. All right. So last night we received this news that and NVIDIA broke above $190 for the first time. I mean, congratulations to everyone who bought the dip last April when the thing was trading at I think it was around the $80 range, pre-market, overnight market on a Sunday. But yeah, like we're more than double on it. And this isn't like a growth stock of like $5-10 billion. Like it was a multi-trillion-dollar company even when that happened. And now it's a multi-trillion-dollar company. It's up more than 100%. And there were many deals that happened during that time. But specifically today, they broke above $190 overnight because the U.S. approved several $billions of chip sales to the UAE. This had originally gotten postponed, or it had originally gotten I don't want to say canceled, but put on pause for some time. And now this is basically bringing that narrative back in that, hey, now we can actually account for these sales that are going to come up, which is in the several billions of dollars for NVIDIA, which is going to be like what, 5 to 10% of the projected revenue for next quarter. I believe next quarter they're going to be around $40 billion. So, adding on a good 10% onto there will bring to the top line growth on a quarterly and an annual basis. So this would be really interesting to see how this pans out. But NVIDIA doesn't actually report until I think like late November, early December. So actually, maybe it's like mid-November. So we do have the Megacaps actually reporting in the next couple of weeks. But earnings season officially kicks off next week, where I think we have TSM and ASML. Actually, as a matter of fact, we still have a few more minutes here. Let's go over the earnings hub to see what's actually on the earnings calendar for next week. So next week over here, we have TSM is reporting Thursday after hours. We have ASML, and then we have, of course, all the banks basically reporting next week. So the fun will start next week, man. The fun will start next week. And then the following week after that is the big week. Let's see over here. Yeah, we got Netflix on Tuesday after hours. We have Tesla. We have Intel reporting. We have a few other names on here. The following week after that, of course, is when the big mega caps actually do report. We have Meta reporting on Wednesday, Google, Amazon, Apple, and I believe Microsoft is somewhere on here. I'm just not seeing it because I'm in front of 230 people live, and I can't really think that well when I'm in front of all you guys. So we're just going to, leave it at that. I don't know what NVIDIA reports, but it's likely going to report maybe a couple of weeks after that. So, guys, very exciting stuff. Really, I thought maybe there'd be more news. I was actually expecting a lot more news to happen overnight, but there really wasn't much other than the NVIDIA several billions of dollars going to UAE. We did have TSM report 31.4% growth year over year for the September revenue. The stock is basically flat. Pretty much pre-market. Maybe it's up like a few basis points here and there, but like nothing too serious, nothing too surprising, just, performing as usual. I mean, everything seems to be fine from a financial and fundamental basis. The only problem is that you have doom and gloomers out there who are trying to just spray fear out there to kind of shake you out of the market. But other than that, there really isn't much. We do have Jerome Powell speaking in about 8 minutes, but in the meantime, there's a little bit of talk lately as far as circular investing. So what a lot of people are talking about with circular investing is that, like, for example, AMD is giving CoreWeave 10% of their company ahead of time in the form of warrants. So then that way, OpenAI can promise to build up to 6 gigawatts of capacity of AMD 450 chips. And, shout out to Jose. I watched one of his videos yesterday because he really breaks down a lot of the semiconductor industry for us, giving us all those good explanations there to exactly what this all means. So the MSFT series for AMD is actually more of like a server type of GPU, something similar to what we have with the Grace Blackwells that are out there. And basically, that's supposed to be like a big bang for your buck type of chips in the industry. Obviously, NVIDIA is the leader in the entire general compute sector when it comes to GPUs, but AMD is the runner-up. And I guess the kind of little bit of criticism that Jensen Huang did provide was that I don't want to play the whole clip, but he basically kind of said, like, why do you have to offer 10% of your company to get promised to buy 6 gigawatt capacity worth of your chips? Kind of makes no sense. Like, if your product was that good, then why do you have to give them 10% of your company? So I guess that was a kind of the scrutiny with NVIDIA versus AMD, Jensen Huang, as Jose would say. I'll actually post the videos in a comment in a second. He just released it last night and then broke the UAE news. But it kind of makes sense. Like, NVIDIA is the kingpin in the entire, they're the most important company in the entire world. I mean, they don't have to offer 10% of their company to get people to buy their chips. People are going to be lining up the door to buy their chips, as they always do. So that's really the story with that. So I wanted to play a clip here real quick from the CEO of CoreWeave. He actually did talk to Jim Cramer last night regarding, hold on a second. Let's see here. He actually did talk last night regarding the circular investing. So let me just bring this up right here and play this for you all.
We had Jensen Wang yesterday for our CNBC Investing Club. It was a great one-on-one. And one of the things that he talked about was he dismissed this notion of the circular deal. And instead, he talked about the notion of being a really great investor. And he mentioned the investment in CoreWeave. Now, how did that come about? Because it clearly was, at the time, risky. You and I talked about it. I wasn't worried about it because I knew that it was a real investment. It was not to be able to give you money and then you give him money.
Yeah, look, there's a narrative out there right now that has to deal with circular investment. And I think it's just fundamentally flawed, right? The reality of the situation is really large, really important technology companies across the space are buying infrastructure to deliver it to their clients. Meta, Microsoft, Amazon, Google. I mean, the largest tech companies in the world are purchasing this infrastructure because they have demand. There's nothing circular about that. It's a fundamental infrastructure build out that's taking place. And when you have such a massive scale investment in infrastructure, it is not unusual to see partnerships as people try to serve infrastructure to the consumers. It happens in other markets. It's happening in this market. I don't think it's circular at all. We've been tagged with circular investment since NVIDIA made its first investment of $100 million years ago. $100 million. We've raised $25 billion. They didn't invest $100 million for circular acceleration of their business. They invested $100 million because they looked at the solution we provide and said, that's a solution that we want to own, that we want to buy into, that we want to own a piece of. And that's what it is. I think the, this narrative around the circular investment, it's of the day, but it will pass because the fundamental drivers in the market are enormous.
Don't miss a second.
Yeah, so I mean, you guys can really have your opinion of that. Obviously, he's not going to be like, yeah, circular investing is real, because that would just make him look like crap. The narrative will go on with that. I think there's going to be a bit more of scrutiny surrounding that theme. But bull markets like to climb fear, and that's just a wall of fear. That's just how bull markets go. So we're going to constantly get a lot of this stuff all the time. All right, so we got about 2 minutes. Okay, cool. Yeah, we got about 2 minutes to go. I wanted to share this tweet here from, hold on a second. Appreciate you sending this over to me, Kris. I don't know if you guys ever heard of Warren Pies. He owns a company called 314 Research, but one of our buddies, AI investor, actually posted this morning, and I was going to bring it up, but he or she, I don't even know if this is a boy or girl, but actually summed it up pretty well. So what we have here is basically a chart that shows pretty much how much demand you have for AI chips. Specifically, this is looking at the NVIDIA chips. And what this is showing you is the percent of minutes in an hour where an instance is available. So if this is close to 100%, that means that on average, the availability of these particular AI chips around different multi-clouds. So this is mostly focusing on the hyperscalers, AWS, Google Cloud, and Azure. This is basically showing you how much demand there is. And the lower this number is means the higher demand that is available out there. And if you look at the red line here, the red line is focusing more on the B200, the latest availability of chips for Blackwell. And you could see here that it just drops, right? So Blackwell just started becoming available recently, and it immediately drops because this is the best compute you can get your hands on out there today. Of course, besides the GB200, Grace Blackwell, but this chart is only showing Blackwell. And you could just see, like, basically the demand is just sucking up all the supply. So as soon as these chips are actually available, especially in the last couple of months, we basically just saw all that supply being drawn up. And the reason why this is important is because, look, there's a lot of speculation out there that demand is going to slow down, that people will start to not buy as many chips, that people will not need as much power. And there was that whole DeepSeek scare a while ago. But according to this chart, this clearly is not the case. So, that is pretty much, I mean, it's a great chart. It's an amazing chart over here, but that is the story right now. And I think we're going to continue to see this narrative build up that, hey, demand's going to slow down, or maybe, hey, acceleration or NVIDIA revenue is going to start slowing down, which it already has, but it's still beating market expectations or analyst expectations, which in that case, if you have an expectation and you beat it, the stock is likely going to go up unless there's like some sort of news or statement within the earnings release that shows that things are actually worse than expected. Worse than expected, down. Better than expected, up. Or sometimes like 30% up with Oracle. All right, guys. So we have supposedly Powell speaking. I'm actually wondering if anyone has a link to that, because I was going to look it up. Hold on a second. Let me see if they're streaming it here on CNBC. Here it is. Quick though points. Surely a lot of these going to be decommissioned. Yeah, I mean, so whether or not they're decommissioned, they are eligible for a write-off on a lot of company financials. So even though they do get decommissioned, like there's like some financial engineering that they do where it's not necessarily as bad as people would expect. Plus they bring on the new stuff, which is definitely outstripping supply. So Federal Reserve. Oh, okay. Thank you. Appreciate you.
Including as a community bank customer. Today's event is a helpful opportunity for Fed leaders to hear from community bankers and learn more about the issues you face. We are committed to understanding these issues, and we have long been committed to tailoring our supervisory practices as appropriate for community banks to reduce unnecessary burden, while still ensuring that community banks continue to operate in a safe and sound manner. Thank you so much for being here today to share your knowledge and experience, and thanks for being such a vital part of the community.
Was that it? I missed the first couple minutes, but I feel like that was it. What? Futures don't care. Oh, I'm bad.
Largest and most efficient financial system
I just thought that was funny because that was probably the most.
to productive use. I think of community banks as the foundation of our financial system.
All right, Michelle Bowman. No, no one really cares. All right. That was probably the most anticlimactic speech. You want to re-listen to it? All right, let's re-listen to it. I'll replay it. I'm not going to show the futures because, like, it literally was the most. All right, hold on, guys. Pardon me, guys. This is one of my first time. We have 450 people in here. I'm a little nervous. All right, give me a break. I'm a little nervous. All right. All right, all right, all right. Come on, let's go. Where's the beginning? Were people really sitting in front of here for 40 minutes waiting for that waiting for that non-event? Here we go. All right.
We are now going to begin our conference with welcoming remarks from the Chair of the Federal
Most
Reserve,
anticlimactic
Jerome
event ever.
Good morning and welcome to the Federal Reserve Board. I'm sorry that I'm traveling today and could not be with you. Thank you to Vice Chair for Supervision, Mickey Bowman, for hosting this conference. Thank you also to all the board staff that made this event possible. Community banks play a vital role in the U.S. financial system because they have strong links to the people and businesses they serve and direct knowledge of local economic conditions. These close ties allow community bankers to better understand their customers and the ensuing products and services for those they serve. I saw this clearly when I led the board's Community and Regional Banks Subcommittee as a governor. I have also seen the critical role of community banks in the communities where I've lived, including as a community bank customer. Today's event is a helpful opportunity for Fed leaders to hear from community bankers and learn more about the issues you face. We're committed to understanding these issues, and we have long been committed to tailoring our supervisory practices as appropriate for community banks to reduce unnecessary burden, while still ensuring that community banks continue to operate in a safe and sound manner. Thank you so much for being here today to share your knowledge and experience.
All right, Jerome. That's what a non-event. Oh my goodness. All right, so in other news, things that probably do matter more, we have some good news for a lot of people, specifically Nebius investors. And the reason why this is really good news is because ClickHouse is going to go IPO. If you guys don't know, Nebius owns 28% of ClickHouse. Their most recent valuation for ClickHouse, or the company's valuation, was, I believe it was $6 billion. So this was kind of an interesting story because back when Nebius was $24, just like 3 months ago, I think it was like a few $1 billion valuation, $8 billion valuation for the company itself. They own 28% of a $6 billion company, which means that they owned about $1.5 billion of share, right? And they're an $8 billion stock. And on top of that, there are other four businesses, the core business of Nebius, of course, which is growing at like 600% when that news came out. And those other businesses are doing great. So it's actually pretty interesting because now you're having a $6 billion previous valuation company going IPO. And we saw what happened with IPOs lately. We saw IPOs get blown up, especially with CRWV. CRWV did like a 4X. Now, I'm not saying that this is going to be a $24 billion valuation when it does IPO, but ClickHouse and our boy Manuel, if you guys don't follow Manuel, he is one of the biggest experts out there when it comes to Nebius. In fact, he was one of the first people to cover Nebius, in addition to Neil or Couch Investor, which a lot of you guys know, back late last year. And well, let's just go ahead and read this, right? So the ClickHouse CEO, Aaron Katz, was basically interviewed on by Silicon Cube or the Cube, and basically said Tesla now ingests over 1 billion events per second into ClickHouse. So Tesla uses ClickHouse. ClickHouse is basically a data engineering platform similar to like Databricks or Snowflake, but somewhat of a different nature. And ClickHouse is one of the leaders in the industry. And it's private, much like Databricks. And you look at other private companies out there. You look at OpenAI is private. They're $500 billion. Not saying that ClickHouse is going to be $500 billion, but the private markets get a little bit of a bump up in terms of valuation, and they have no problem gaining liquidity. But basically, ClickHouse's business model is usage-based, right? So it's consumption-based, meaning that the more you use, the more they charge you. And what they're trying to say here is that they have tables with over a quadrillion of rows. Is that really necessary? Quadrillion? But obviously, they adding over 100 customers in the last month. They added over 200. This is very much high in demand, okay? They have other customers besides Tesla, like OpenAI, Anthropic, Meta, Cloudflare, and many other companies, and I'm literally just reading it from here, but this is the reason why you need to follow Manuel. But this is a very high demand type of product that's out there, so much that they're going to go IPO, and who knows what's going to happen after that. But again, Nebius owns 28%. So right now, Nebius is worth about, what's Nebius? Actually, let's look at Nebius pre-market. Let's see what's going on here. Hold on. All right, let's see what Nebius said. Let's see what our boy Arcady is doing pre-market over here. Pre-market, Nebius is flat to up. Okay, so Nebius owns 28% of this company, and currently they're valued at, what are they valued at? $30 billion. And they own 28% stake here, so that's $1.5 billion. So if they were to do a 4 times an IPO, I'm not saying they will, but like, let's just say hypothetically do a 4 times an IPO, that $6 billion becomes $24 billion. And now that's basically a $6 billion stake they have in a company that the CEO of Nebius has said many times, like, look, we need capital to basically fund all of these projects and data centers that we're building, including Microsoft's $17.4 billion contract they signed for the next 5 years, up to $19.4 billion. We need capital, right? And he said that they could sell their stake in ClickHouse, or at least sell part of it. That's basically going to be, if it does a 4 times, it's basically going to be about $6 billion of capital that they can get into cash to fund their expenditures, right? So it's just another added catalyst to this feed. But I think what this really does highlight more is that, look, AI demand is going up. All right. It's not going down, as a lot of fear mongers say. It's going to continue to go up. We clearly have seen that Tesla, OpenAI, and whoever else. Of course, this is the CEO of a company who wants to kind of preach his own product out there. But we have multiple data points out there that show that it's continuing to be high in demand. We saw Warren Pye's chart that AI investors shared, and we saw many other pieces of data that this is not necessarily slowing down. In fact, the demand is actually accelerating. And then that's why you have a lot of these other companies like CIFR and IREN basically just going vertical. Might not go vertical forever, but the hype is definitely up there, but so is the demand. So I think that that's very telling for this interview. I don't want to play the whole interview per se, because it's like about 20 minutes and I don't want to sit here for about 20 minutes. Okay, so with that being said, the next thing I wanted to go over here is I already discussed the chip sales. I already discussed that. That's right. Okay, so I wanted to go over basically what we've been seeing in terms of the price action of a lot of companies, but more of like what the story is kind of telling. We already know that there is an additional few $1 billion of sales for NVIDIA being sold to the UAE. But what we also know is that different components that need to be put into building these chips, NVIDIA chips, GPUs, whether it's AMD MI450s and so on. One of the things that we need to remember is that when it comes to building these chips, you don't just build it from scratch. You do build it from scratch, but you take certain components and supplies from other suppliers and other companies, but namely high bandwidth memory. So I don't want to give a big education course on exactly like what each component is, but one thing that we've seen is that if you take a look at over here, if you take a look at the whole semiconductor list of companies here, you could see that Micron is like literally pushing all-time highs, right? Micron is pushing all-time highs. Astera Labs is pushing all-time highs. Then you have other players that are designing chips like Broadcom, very much near all-time highs. You have ASML, which is pretty much the they build the lithography machines that are used to actually build these semiconductor chips and the wafers. You also have TSM is pretty much near all-time highs. Actually, I think it actually is in all-time highs in pre-market. It's around all-time highs in pre-market, and they're showing that they're growing at about 31.4% year over year for just this month alone. The story is not stopping. Like I think that the notion that I'm trying to convey here is that, look, there's a lot of scares out there. We just saw a couple days ago that there were reports from the information that Oracle was actually losing a lot of money, and the margins for the GPUs that they're renting out was actually not nearly as high as the market had expected. AWS has pretty decent gross margins for being a hyperscaler and basically renting out compute, and Oracle just is not out there. So maybe this means that these companies are not making as much money as people expected to, and therefore the market kind of sold off a little bit throughout the day. And there was a scare where it was basically like, hey guys, this is the top. And then we look at a day like yesterday for the Qs, we went from here on Tuesday to here yesterday, making a new all-time high in the Qs, right? Look, let's stop calling tops, guys. I think the most important part is that we see overall the demand is continuing to accelerate and that things are doing great. Now, I think there's like a little bit of scare when it comes to 2026. In fact, there was actually an interview with Dan Niles yesterday where he was actually kind of discussing a little bit of a playbook. The most important two themes here in the market is one, you have AI, but two, you also have the Fed, right? The Fed is cutting into 3% plus GDP growth. And inflation is, I wouldn't say it's massively decelerating, having massive disinflation, but we do have disinflation on the horizon. Kris has been discussing a lot and showing a lot of data that being that the housing market is a large part of inflation, that you have a lot of housing that really is sitting on the market for the while, which means that housing demand is kind of going down and supply is outstripping the demand for supply. So it's like the complete opposite of AI, right? For AI, it's demand is high and supply is not enough. For housing, is there's too much supply and there's not enough demand. So that's going to bring down inflation over a period of time. It's not going to happen overnight. It's going to happen over a period of time. But on the other side of that, we have the mortgage rates that Amit was showing yesterday. Let's see here. Did mortgage rates actually come out this morning? Hold on. Yeah, we have the 30-year over here. Bigger chart over here. Hold on. We have the 30-year basically sitting, or the 30-year fixed mortgage rates basically sitting at the lowest place it's been since 2022. And this chart, I would short this chart. Like if there's some moving averages on here, this would be trading below the 200-day moving average, 20-day and 50-day moving average. I would short this chart. But this is clearly going to come down. It's not going to come back down to here. Like we're not going to get zero. We're not going to get ZIRP or zero interest rate policy, but we're probably going to come down to like 5% mortgage rates. And if that happens, dude, the housing market's going to come back. Maybe not in the crazy demand that we saw back in 2020 and 2021, where you had 3% mortgage rates, but it's going to slowly come back. All right. So if you get people to start buying houses, we already saw that Tesla is doing better in terms of selling their cars. We saw a lot of other companies show that the consumer's strong. We saw Costco basically say that they grew 8% year over year in terms of sales, and this was coming from 6%. Actually, let me bring up that tweet that I posted yesterday for Costco. And that was actually really interesting because I don't think the market expected that. Costco was actually up about like 3% after hours yesterday. We'll check out where it was in a second. Hold on. Here we go. Yeah, so Costco reported their September sales yesterday. They came in at 8% year over year. And that's accelerating from 6.1% in August and 5.5% in July. So the consumer's strong, okay? Like against this consumer sentiment reports, the consumer is accelerating here. Now, being that Costco is more of a staple when it comes to buying things, I'll tell you something. I went to Costco yesterday and I bought a lot of staples, but I bought a lot of stuff I didn't need, right? And I'm guessing that you guys don't go to Costco and buy one thing and leave. Like when you go to Costco, you're buying so much stuff you don't need that it is near impossible to spend less than $100 at Costco. Like I'm a family of 4. I got 2 kids. Of course, I got a wifey and myself, and it is impossible to spend less than $100 at Costco. But when you see like a report like this, it shows that other people feel the same way. Other people buying a lot of stuff at Costco. The fact that we're considering seasonality in here, and they're comparing September this year to September last year, it grew 8%. And then last month, it was 6%. and the previous month it was 5.5%. That means that people are spending more than they did last year compared to the month in the previous year. The consumer's strong. GDP is at near 4%. We just saw the Atlanta Fed basically report GDP. Hold on, let's see Atlanta Fed GDP now. I believe they just gave an update yesterday. Yeah. Hey, I mean, does this look like we're hitting a recession? Like, it's just, does this look like we're going to have a recession soon? It doesn't look like to me, man. It doesn't look like we're going to have a recession anytime soon to me. It looks like things are speeding up. These are based off lagging indicators. We all know what happens when people forecast downturns, and the market has just been going up. Now, I'm not saying it's going to keep going up. I'm just saying, like, this is not the time to be bearish, guys. This is kind of the time where, you want to kind of look for the upside more and be part of the upside versus like calling the top for the downside. But as Kris was saying, Costco isn't necessarily a holistic indicator of all the consumers out there, but more of, like, I would say, like, the middle, maybe upper, lower to middle to upper middle class out there that shops at Costco. But that is the majority of basically the economy, right? It's not a holistic picture of the entire economy, but it's the majority of the economy. And the sentiment reports are based off of maybe more of the macro perspective, but this is more of the micro. But I think that this provides a good idea that things are not slowing down. Not saying they're speeding up, because this is more micro, but that things are not necessarily slowing down. All right, so let's take a look at some pre-market numbers over here. All right, I mean, I think things are looking pretty good pre-market. NVIDIA is up about 2% at 192, which would put it at, oh wow, if it opens up here, it's actually going to be at a new all-time high. I mean, I was actually looking at, well, you guys let me know if you guys want to, actually, let me do a poll, because I don't want to, like, sit over here and bore you guys with, like, things that I enjoy doing, because I am here to serve you guys. But I want to know from you guys, like, hey, do you guys want me to just go over some charts real quick? Basically show you what I'm looking at in terms of the market, or do you guys want to jump back into the macro stuff? Because I gotta be honest, there really is not a whole lot that has happened yesterday. Sam, are you in any LNG names? Well, I'm in VG, and I'm also in Next. And that's courtesy of where's Amit? What did you do to him? Hey, Amit did something to himself. He decided to get a root canal this morning, and I'm here to help you guys because, of course, AK Media, they can't be online 24/7. They need to take breaks, and I'm not part of AK Media, but I had formal approval from AK Media that I am allowed to do this stream. And I will show you that formal proof right here. Okay. And I'm showing you this proof because I'm not lying, guys. I got formal approval from AK Media that I could do this stream. Hold on a second. Yeah, here we go. Yeah, this is formal sign off. All right. Amit saying let's go is considered formal sign off. He said that I could do this. All right. So anyways, got a little bit of sidetrack there. We're going to talk about CIFR and IREN in a second. There's some interesting news we received on IREN this morning, and in addition to a little bit of speculation that's happening with CIFR. And I think a lot of that really has to do with a big Oracle conference next week. But anyways, without getting too diverted here, man, what was I talking about? I got to stop looking at the chat. You guys are like you guys are throwing me off, dude. How does Amit do this? How does he pay attention to this and then pay attention to this? Stop going, man. I got that under control. Oil. All right, so let's see over here. What? I forgot what I was going to talk. Can someone remind me exactly what I was getting into in the first place? I completely forgot. Yes, we're going to talk about CleanSpark for a little bit, and we're going to talk about IREN, and we're going to talk about CIFR, guys. We will talk about that because those are some very interesting topics. Guys, I forgot what I was going to talk about. That's right. I was going to do a poll. I was going to do a poll to see if you guys want to go over some some charts and stuff to kind of see what I'm seeing, or if you just want to kick it for like the next like 45 minutes and like watch me make a cup of coffee or something. Like, it's up to you guys. There really is not that much news out there this morning. Like, I could just play like a bunch of CNBC clips right now, but like literally nothing really happened this morning. There's some micro stuff, but from a macro perspective, like nothing really is new this morning. Like, nothing's new at all. So, all right, let me actually switch here to my YouTube account, and it's going to go to my studios. It's funny. Should I stream my own stream? That'd be pretty crazy if I do that. How do I even do this? All right. And here we go. I'm going to throw a poll up. Let me throw a poll up. How do you do a poll? Oh my God. Oh my goodness. All right. Here we go. Engage a starter poll. All right, cool. Should we go over more macro or charts? Yes, I'll send you a link in a second. Hold on, Kris. All right, guys. I'm going to set this poll up for you guys. That's right. We'll talk about that in a minute. Okay, so I'll leave it up to you guys. We actually do have some more news that I wanted to share with you guys. But I'm throwing this poll up out there right now. Going to see if you guys want to see some micro in terms of some technical analysis. But, you know, something like surface level, like nothing too crazy, mostly focusing on the big stuff. Or if you want to jump into some news regarding some Chinese export controls. Not necessarily export controls, but like some news and my thoughts on pretty much like how much money did China spend lately. Actually, I'll just tell you why the polls are out there. Let me share my others. Oh, my screen. I still had the formal sign off on here. Actually, very interesting. So we had some news out here. By the way, guys, if you guys didn't catch it, yesterday, Stock Talk and Amit did a Spaces on AMKR, ticker symbol AMKR, and Phototronics, or PLAB, PLAB. And I'm going to put the link real quick for you guys over here, because that Spaces was phenomenal. And all you crazy people were bidding up AMKR yesterday as soon as Amit said he was going to buy it. And I don't know if Triple V is out there, but he was probably buying the whole float as soon as Amit said that. So we'll see where that is in a second. But I'm going to leave the link for this Spaces over here in case you want to watch that one or listen to that one, because it was on the Spaces. But in the meantime, while we are collecting that poll, I'm going to bring up the China news. So China purchased $49 billion of chip-making equipment over the past year, despite U.S. export controls. What does this mean? Okay. Well, I'm glad you guys asked. All right, Kris, I'm going to send you a link. Chill, man. Just wait. All right. So what this pretty much means is that, well, hey, maybe China is a lot more reliant on U.S. homegrown compute, specifically NVIDIA and AMD chips, than what was told by propaganda. There was a whole notion that, hey, China doesn't need NVIDIA. It's not from the U.S. propaganda. It's mostly from Chinese propaganda, Chinese news media outlets that are, not controlled by the government. I don't know. Maybe they are controlled. Maybe they're not controlled by the government. But basically saying, hey, we don't need your chips. We could just build our own stuff. Alibaba can build chips. Huawei can build chips. Not Huawei, or it's pronounced Huawei. And how do I know that? I don't know. I heard someone on CNBC said it. But anyways, we can produce our own chips. We don't need NVIDIA chips. But despite that, despite the export controls, the pause on it, and all the tariffs, $49 billion. All right, $49 billion of chip making equipment over the past year, despite U.S. export controls. What does this mean for NVIDIA's earnings that are coming up? Well, maybe there's a bit more in revenue, even though they did not include China revenue. Maybe this means a lot more for their top line than we expect. How do I hide this? Oh, there we go. I can hide that. Yeah. So, just pretty interesting stuff out there. I think that's what you guys were talking about when it comes to the export controls. I mean, it wasn't like humongous news, but like it was like, dude, like, come on, China, you need our stuff. Anyways, I mean, we're clearly going to be leading in this entire battle toward AGI, which is artificial general intelligence. And guys, what does artificial general intelligence means? I don't know. Like, I mean, honestly, it means like a computer serving computer or Skynet. I think that's what it means. But I don't know exactly what it means, but it's somewhere around there. But apparently OpenAI is trying to go for it, and so is Elon Musk. So like, I guess it's something important, but we're going to win it. All right. We're going to win it by far margins. Well, the market thinks we're going to win it, right? We're at all-time highs, hitting to all-time highs every single day. So, hey, appreciates the super chat, buddy. Thank you. Is this like $100 US? Anyways, I appreciate it because the US dollar is super weak right now, and it is a very great time to be doing super chats in a foreign currency against the US because the US is super cheap right now. All right, so let's take a look at the poll here. All right, I'm going to end the poll. So we got 53% charts, 47% macro. I'm going to have to do the charts real quick. All right, guys, I'm going to have to do the charts quick. And then we're going to get Mr. Kris Patel on here in a minute. And guys, there's only going to be a few more minutes. So if you guys fall asleep, well, it's 9 in the morning. You could fall asleep and then wake up, when the market opens, about 30 minutes. We're going to be here for the market open. We're going to be here for the market open. Okay. I'm going to be here for the market open, but I'm not going to be here until like 10:30, 11:30 a.m. Like, I got things to do. I have 2 kids that are going to be awake in an hour, turning my house upside down. All right. So I'm only going to be here for like at most another hour. All right. So let's get into some charts. All right. One thing that stood out to me yesterday, all right, is, I kind of like, no. Okay, I kind of like this better. Well, no, this is pretty good. I'm going to move. I'm going to move. No. Hold on, guys. All right, there we go. Amazon. I've mentioned this before on Twitter. Amazon broke down the 50-day and the 20-day moving average. And the reason why this is important is because algos tend to trade, and traders tend to trade more around these significant moving averages. We have the purple, which is the 20-day moving average. We have the 50-day, which is the red, and we have the 200-day, which is the most important moving average out of all of them when it comes to the daily moving average. You want to stay above the 200-day moving average. And the reason why you want to stay above the 200-day moving average is because when it's below, things get dicey. For example, you guys remember last May when we traded below the 200-day moving average? Yeah, things were a little bit dicey over here, okay? Once we got back up, textbook back test, boom, 20-day moving average supports over support. What does this tell me? This tells me that the 20-day moving average is very important to stay above, and we are above the 20-day moving average, okay? Bullish short term, 50-day moving average, bullish long term. Bullish long term. 200-day moving average, no, okay. 20-day moving average, bullish short term. 50-day moving average, bullish medium term. 200-day moving average, bullish long term. 20-day above the 50-day moving average is short to medium term bullish trend. 50-day above the 200-day is medium to long term bullish trend. We are in a bullish trend on all time frames right now, in my opinion. You can get into the weekly moving averages and so on, but like, I don't like to go that far. Okay, guys, like I'm by nature a long-term swing trader, medium to long-term swing trader, a little bit of alpha in the short term, but guys, I would not short this right now. All right. If we break this 20-day moving average, which we almost did a couple weeks ago, and everyone thought that was it, look what happened. Okay. Tech bounce over here. A month ago, a little bit of a scare. September is the worst month in the entire year. We're going to have a massive bear market or correction in September. Well, I mean, we didn't. We didn't. We never pulled back more than we never pulled back more than 2%. Actually, no, I think the statistic is 3.5%. We have not pulled back since April. And then since August, we haven't pulled back more than 2.5%. So, guys, this is still bullish. No reason to be bearish. No reason to be bearish. The Qs, I mean, this is like super volatile. We did break the 20-day moving average on the Qs, but we didn't bounce right back up as over here. We're above the 20-day moving average. The Qs are pretty much flat pre-market. But one thing that I was mentioning earlier was Amazon was something that was pretty interesting. So, you guys know I am bullish Amazon. Amazon is over 10% of my portfolio. It's my largest position in my portfolio. I don't know how long though, because NBIS is coming close to being my largest position in addition to Robinhood. But Amazon, I'm extremely bullish on. Now, why am I extremely bullish on Amazon? Because it's the largest hyperscaler in the entire world. Okay, they're at $125 billion run rate, which means that on their AWS segment, which is the cream of their crop, is growing at above 17%, but it's a $125 billion run rate. So that is like what? That's like almost almost $25 billion in growth last year, almost. But Amazon's actually reporting in a couple of weeks, so that's gonna be very interesting to see that. But your boy Amit, the CEO of AK Media, in case you guys didn't know, who's getting a root canal right now, he bought Amazon. A lot of people bought Amazon. Why? Well, what's Amazon at year to date? I believe Amazon is red year to date. I was going to type in the ticker symbol year to date. I don't know why I was going to do that, but I was about to do that. I don't know if you guys caught that. I was about to do that. Okay, so Amazon is green year to date. They're green 5% year to date, but they are underperforming the S&P 500 year to date. Okay. I think we got a little bit of a catch-up story here. The S&P 500 is up 15. Wow, we are up 15% year to date. That's insane. That's insane. Pretty interesting. Hey guys, I apologize for not paying attention too much to the chat. I know you guys want me to do Clean Spark. I know you guys want me to do IREN. I know you guys want me to do NBIS and so on. I already technically did NBIS, but I'm going to talk a little bit about CIFR and IREN in a minute. But I want to go over some charts real quick, and I'll get to those charts in a second. All right, so I believe in earnings that are coming up, Amazon is either going to beat AWS revenue or how's it channel that? Or they're going to reaccelerate. And if they reaccelerate, Amazon is going to head toward 300. If they decelerate, take cover, guys. I have to be honest, take cover, because the market does not want to see continued deceleration of Amazon. They decelerated from 19% to around 18% the previous quarter, and last quarter decelerated 17%. Meanwhile, Google Cloud Platform accelerated to, I believe it was about 33% last quarter. So just their cloud business accelerated. That's the reason why Google is selling at a premium here. But also, Mr. Patel is very bullish Google. And congratulations to anyone who bought Google back here in the 150s. My Smart A sold Google for Meta back in the 160s. So I admit it. I don't get everything right. But it's all good. It's all good. Meta's still up, but not as much as the Google spreads, guys. But anyways, Google Cloud Platform accelerated. Microsoft Azure was like 39% year-over-year growth. And that's crazy because, dude, this is the second largest hyperscaler in the world growing at 39%. Like, that's pretty freaking insane. Now, Azure probably won't catch up to Amazon in terms of run rate, or at least not for 4 or 5 years. But this is what the market's going to look at: cloud growth. They don't give numbers in terms of AI revenue. They do comment on it on the earnings call, but they give the numbers on cloud growth. We want to see this continue going up. Okay, that's what the market's looking for this one. So, do I think Amazon is going to 300? Well, I think this chart will basically tell you what the story is going to be before the earnings. And that story is getting back above the 50-day moving average. We actually got it back above it yesterday, but we closed like right on right a little bit above the 50-day moving average yesterday here at 225.22. The 50 days at 224. I mean, I don't like to look at things too micro when it comes to that stuff. I want to see like a clean break like this, like a clean break above that and so on. So we want to see it heading into earnings, closing above this, okay? Ideally, go up, come back down, retest it, and that's where it closes for earnings. Dude, if the day of earnings, if before the earnings it breaks these moving averages and then comes back and retests it, the day of earnings, your boy might buy some calls. All right, or actually sell some put credit spreads that are in the money there. But we'll see. We'll see. I'll keep you guys abreast of that one. Do we have the cowbell, guys? I don't have the cowbell, but I got something even better for you guys. Actually, let me just let me double check to make sure I got that. You know what? Actually, in the meantime, while I'm bringing that one up, I'm going to do something real quick here. All right, I'm going to do something real quick here. And yeah, I mean, I think that's really it for the charts. I don't want to like go over it too much, but like, you know, long story short, the charts look bullish. It's just, how do you short this? How do you short this? Now, crypto is the interesting one. Okay. We had Bitcoin like clearly bullish. This is the reason why the 20 and the 50 day are super important, because like, look at this. Once it broke, okay, Bitcoin, breaking down, come back up, breaking down. Okay. Oh no, we're going toward I thought we were going to go toward the 200-day, but again, I wasn't like trying to lever long Bitcoin. As soon as we broke this right here, as soon as we broke it, I went long MSTX and CleanSpark. Why? Because those are very heavily correlated with Bitcoin and they have the alpha in the sector, but also CleanSpark, right? What you guys are waiting for, CleanSpark is a Bitcoin miner. Is one of the largest Bitcoin miners, but they have the optionality of switching it to AI cloud. Again, preface though, they have not bought any chips or anything like that. They just basically announced and raised capital saying like, hey, we have the option of switching into AI data center, or at least making a bit of a pivot into AI data center. CleanSpark is almost $20 pre-market. This chart's wild. There is no guidance I can provide in this chart. CleanSpark isn't at all-time highs, but it's near. No, it's not at 52-week highs either. Actually, it is. It's above 52-week highs. It made new 52-week highs yesterday. But this chart is bonkers right now. I bought CleanSpark at around $14 and I sold it at 17. I got shaken out of CleanSpark, but it's all good. It's all good. I bought more BMNR, but I mean, I don't know if I'm going to buy this chart right now. I think I'd hold off a little bit. Like I'd want to see continued dominance in Bitcoin, but I'm a lot more bullish on Ethereum right now. So last thing before we continue, hold on. Last thing before we continue is that Ethereum is coming down here. It broke the 50-day moving average and it tested the 20-day and it bounced off it intraday. So we want to see how this closes out. But you guys already know about the whole Kara's Day capital short on BMNR, and it was kind of a bogus report. And we even had Jim Chanos basically talk crap about the retail-based investor when it comes to giving his comments on people who are short. I don't really want to get into that, but you can look at my Twitter and find out about it. But I mean, this was pretty bogus because Amit already went over this yesterday, and I want to go over it too much. But for the most part, you had a company that's shorting BMNR, but like they also tried to short a bunch of other companies, and namely one company they tried to short was MicroStrategy, which they were right for a minute, but then they got their faces ripped off if they stayed in it. And we also had Citron with the Palantir short. Don't short high beta stocks that are leading in a bull market. Like it is a bad idea. Short weak stocks, short stocks that are dying, right? Those are the stocks you want to short in a bull market. If you do, you don't want to short these type of stocks. So, I mean, am I bullish? I'm hella bullish BMNR, dude. We get below here, the 20-day moving average of 55, like, okay, I'll get a little iffy by then. We break below the 50-day. Sorry, we break below the 50-day. Okay, but I'm telling you right now, like, this is a short to medium term bullish trend. The 20-day is above the 50-day. There is a 200-day because actually, no, there is a 200-day. It's all the way down here at $20. I don't think we need to worry. If we break the 200-day, guys, I think I will be long and gone out of BMNR before that happens. Why? Because BMNR is more of a long-term trade for me. But yeah, we're trading at about $59 pre-market, 1.72, and it's likely because Ethereum is down 3%. But we do have that BMNR dominance here, okay? Ethereum is down 3%. BMNR is still outperforming Ethereum right now. So we have someone special here. Wanted to bring him on, and I don't know. He doesn't need any introduction. What's going on, dude? How are you?
Good, man. Just Amit, you look different. Did you shave?
Yeah, no,
I
I shaved. My skin
get
got
a
a little
haircut?
more. Yeah, I got a little bit of haircut. I moved to California from New Jersey. Yeah. Oh, what's up? What's up, K
Who is
Roger?
that?
What's going on, K Roger? Appreciates you, man. Appreciates you. All right. Thank you.
Dude,
Thank you for the super chat.
I was on the stream with Carisdale Capital yesterday. Like my mic was cutting in and out. It wasn't me. It was actually the Twitter stream that was
Sure it
that was
was.
happening. You know, the thing that didn't make sense to me with this guy was he was like, "Well, I'm gonna go short BMNR, but I'm gonna go long Ethereum." So what he's trying to do is
Yeah.
replicate like the Chanos model, because Chanos is doing the same thing with Bitcoin, right? He's basically going long on Bitcoin while also at the same time shorting MSTR. But I
Is
had
he
to kind
still
of like,
short, or that's something he tried to do before?
no, he's still short. He's doing well on it, because the thing is, the money that he got shorting MSTR, he's using that to buy Bitcoin. So as Bitcoin rises and MSTR stays the same, he makes money, right? So Carisdale Capital is thinking they could probably do the same thing. There's just a couple of things that they kind of missed out on, which didn't make too much sense to me. Like the first thing is the logic behind their short on MSTR was the MSTR MNAV was like 1.5. It was like high, like even like 1.7 at some time.
Oh, I
So
think it was above 2, right?
yeah, it was at 2 at one point. So it was crazy high. And so that made sense from a Chanos perspective. And the thing is, Bitcoin doesn't have a yield, right? Whereas Ethereum, you could stake it and get a yield off of it. So there's a kind of a big difference between the two. The other thing is, even if you were to short it at like 59, the NAV itself right now is around 40. So if he's saying, well, the Ethereum is going to go up, if the Ethereum goes to, let's say, like 5,500, the NAV would jump for not MNAV, but the NAV itself for BMNR would jump to 50. So it's like, okay, you made how much money trying to short this thing while at the same time getting money on the Ethereum side? There's not really that big of a return. And at the same time, you're taking a crap ton of risk. So it's just like, okay, if that's what you want to do. Now, I do agree that the MNAV will gradually come down, but I think the big disagreement with the guy was he's thinking the MNAV is going to collapse overnight. And I think that's like the dumbest thing. So if you guys just look at the screen right here, share screen right here, this accumulation that these guys are doing and the pace at which they're going, they're going to be done with their 6 million by around January, between January and February. So the entire time you literally have billions upon billions of dollars getting pumped into this company, and it's buying Ethereum, and that's boosting the net asset value. So depending on what you think the Ethereum price is going to be, that NAV is going to grow. So it doesn't necessarily make sense to short this thing. Now, there are other option strategies that you can do to make some really good money and return on this thing, but it's nothing like, but shorting it, I think, was just an attack in my opinion, to get the price a little bit lower and let the MNAV come down. So I don't know, maybe some institutions could buy in or whatever, but I don't necessarily see the big short in this. And if it does go down, I think it could get, Ethereum would have to collapse down to like the 3,500 level for BMNR to come down to like 50, like we just saw a few weeks ago. So like I said, the idea behind this short isn't necessarily that attractive. And I think that's something that was called out by a lot of people on Twitter, which was some of the arguments that that these guys used were just ridiculous. It was like it was like Tom Lee doesn't post enough cat videos.
No, dude. The CARES Day Capital, they did not record that one. Did you have a recording?
I don't know. I don't think so. No.
Yeah, no, they didn't record it. So I wasn't there to listen to it, unfortunately. But I mean, it'll be pretty interesting to see how that plays out. Like I'm bullish BMNR. But as long as Ethereum stays bullish, right? And
see the thing is, even he acknowledged one of the thesis that the guy had in there was, well, anyone can open an Ethereum treasury and buy Ethereum now. So what's the alpha left in BMR? You could just buy SBET, and SBET has a one NAV. Like, what's the point? And the thing that he doesn't, I don't know if he doesn't realize or whether he's just not mentioning it, but if you have a one NAV, that means that every share that you issue, it's not value accretive, right? It does not mean that you can add Bitcoin at an attractive price. If anything, you should technically be selling the Ethereum and buying back your own shares to generate value for shareholders, right?
Yeah.
But so BMNR is doing something very specific in that they're utilizing the volatility in their own stock, in their own name, and plus, of course, Tom Lee's ability to raise capital via his connections to what's her name, to like Kathy Wood and all these other hedge funders, to really boost this up there. And so the entire time you've got this value creation that's happening. And there's also another thing that I don't think he necessarily took into consideration. You know, there's a big difference between being the smallest holder of Ethereum treasuries versus being the largest holder of Ethereum treasuries.
Yeah.
The more Ethereum you hold, the more you can stake, the more rewards that you can get. And so the bigger you are, the bigger value you're going to get. It's like saying Microsoft and some regular operating system company should be valued the same because they both do operating systems. Like, no, Microsoft is the juggernaut. This guy's a small company. There's a big difference between the two.
I would also argue that, like, Tom has a target. Tom Lee is a target, 5%, right?
Yeah.
MicroStrategy or MicroSailor does not have a target. Like, he's just going to keep on buying orange, right? Orange. So I would say that is probably like a factor that I am, and I'm also bullish stablecoin. Hey, dude, thanks for the $2. Appreciate it. Kris, buy more spreads. Buy more spreads now. Whoops.
No, put that up. That's a good comment.
I definitely. Oh, this one. Yeah, and then we got to move on. Get ready for the market open.
Yeah.
What's the ETH per share? Is that getting diluted? How many outstanding shares will there be when they hit 5% alchemy? The bigger or the more outstanding shares. Go for it.
So according to the calculations right now, based on the current price of Ethereum, it's roughly around 550 to 560 million. If you guys haven't checked, can you show the screen? If you guys haven't checked this out, if you are in BMNR and you want some of the metrics behind it, I would say go to BMNR Rocks. The guy has a pretty good table that pretty much illustrates everything. But right here, there's total shares at the goal level based on today's price to get there. So they still need to raise another $14 billion. At the current share price, they would need to raise another 236 million shares. So by the target goal, it would be around 560 million. But remember, this is all very subjective, basically because the price of the stock and the dilution kind of offset each other. So let's say right now, if the stock goes to 75, you don't have to issue as many shares, right? So that MNAV expansion is something that you have to keep an eye on. So I ran a bunch of simulations with the MNAV being 1.5 and another simulation that's 1.3 and 1.5. And basically I get to about the same amount. So I got between 575 to 600 million shares outstanding, but I'm being conservative with it. And I got I estimated a price of Bitcoin being around 5,500. So Tom Lee is saying 7,500, and dude, could definitely get to 7,500, but I kept it very conservative and did 5,500. So I'm getting a baseline of $50 of NAV by the end of the year, right?
So wait, 5,500 by tomorrow or 5,500 by the end of the year?
No, 5,500 by the end of the year. That's my target.
5,500 tomorrow, dude. I want to see BMNR at $100 tomorrow. No, just kidding around. Yeah, no, I think that makes a lot of sense. I think that we'll get to 5,500 by the end of the year. I think that's actually a pretty easy target, but I don't think we're going to close at 5,500.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know if we're going to close above that or below, but I don't think we're going to close at 5,500. We'll see. But with that being said, we got 4 minutes until. Hold on. We got 4 minutes till the open. I wanted to do CIFR and IREN for a minute.
By the way, shout out to you, man. You called that shit so long ago. I got stuck in
crazy.
analysis. I got stuck in analysis paralysis. Like I was like, oh, you know what? And it's funny because I called him and I was like, look, this is something that could be something major. And I just got stuck looking at other things and I kind of lost track of it. And now I'm wondering, do I buy into the strength because it's overbought? You know, or do I kind of wait for a pullback before I buy in? And the thing is, I think I've always missed out on these things because literally for a week straight, I'm like, man, I'll buy on a pullback. I'll buy on a pullback. It's a goddamn pullback that never comes.
So
anyone in the chat feel the same way? Anyone
I mean, it's one of those things where it's running on a theme, but you know, when these themes run hot, like they really run hot, but I would present some caution because like, dude, once I want to say the bubble deflates, but like once like you hit a brick wall here in the market, like this thing's going to go back to $40. Like that's what like the 20-day moving average is at $44. Like we can easily come back to $44 and like, I would not be surprised at all. Right. So, I am trying to read the chat, dude. I'm trying to read the chat, but there's so much things happening right now. I'm not an Amit pro. I'm trying guys. But anyways, how do I even like get rid of this chat? Okay, hold on. Okay, so we got the market open in 4 minutes. Kris, appreciate you being on here. I want to be able to bring up the big screen when the market opens. I'm not going to do the market open tomorrow. Amit's going to be back, and I'm not trying to take over anything. But like when Amit is out, I'm going to try to fill in as much as I could. All right. But hey, dude, I'll bring you back on later if we still have time.
No, it's all good, man. Yeah. You have a good one. I gotta get to breakfast. I'll talk to you later. But
all
yeah,
right, talk to you later.
Hopefully, good job on the market open so far, man. Keep
Thanks,
it up,
dude.
You know, with practice, you will get better. Amit did not start off as bubbly and as entertaining as he was when he first started. I mean, he had his own awkward moments, but he got there, and you'll get there.
He still has awkward moments.
Yeah, he does. Have a good one, guys.
All right, dude. Kris is X right there. Go ahead and give him a follow if you don't already follow him. Thanks, Kris. All right, so we got the market open coming soon, and I wanted to talk for a minute about IREN before the market opens, and the reason why is because Couch Investor actually posted about it. If you guys don't follow Couch Investor, he's actually live right now. So if you want to hear from him, you can certainly attend his channel. Not trying to steal all of the viewers here or anything. You guys do you. But he posted this morning that IREN, and we already know that they had a dilution event, or they had an offering event the other day. It was actually Tuesday after hours. And the stock dropped like 7%. But then yesterday was like kind of a somewhat flat, down 2%. For IREN is like a flat day, right? For me, that's considered a flat day. But today they basically did their filing where they said, these are the terms of the offering: $856 million cash up front, interest free for 6 years. And they will only have to pay it back if the stock jumps by 42.6%, or 42.5%. So if the stock is at $120, they need to pay it back. Right? But if the stock is below it, they don't need to pay that money back. Right? So, and when they pay it back, they pay it back by shares. So if we get to $120, there will be dilution. If we don't get $120, there won't be dilution. And this is actually up to about $1 billion in the offering. And the interesting thing is that we are back where we closed the other day. In fact, above where we closed the other day, pre-market. Right? So what exactly does that mean? That means that the market shrugged it off. At least that's what I think it is. And we'll see when the market's open. But the fact that we're above where we were before that announcement pre-market is pretty important. IREN is a they have renewable energy for their Bitcoining mining, which they are profitable on. But more importantly, they're building about 2.9 gigawatts of compute. CIFR is also doing the same. They're building a lot of compute, except CIFR has a deal with Google already. Okay. And they basically were up like 6% pre-market after as yesterday. But anyways, guys, we have the market opening up very soon. Very, very exciting. I am like literally waiting here for 9 o'clock because, 9:30. Here we go, guys. All right, cool. So let me just open up this right here, guys. All right, appreciate that. No, that was not live, but you will be able to see Amit live for market close and market open tomorrow. All right, so we have the S&P 500 open 4 basis points up at 673. We have the Qs open slightly down, which I would probably say that is pretty much flat at the open. We have IREN up 4% on the day, 62.25. We have BMNR down 2% on the day. We have Ethereum just around $4,000 in the opening hours. Viking Therapeutics is up 4.3%. Now, this is the interesting thing with Viking is that they have the VK2735 GLP drug. They have an oral tablet and also an injectable tablet, and they went all the way down to about $23, $22-ish, right? And the reason why they dropped so much was because they recently released their trials, or specifically on the 18th of August. They basically showed a big drop-off rate, more than the market expected when it came to their trials. And that's why they had a massive 40% drop that day. But since then, they've literally recovered. And this is the reason why the moving averages are important. I pointed this out. It recovered the 20-day moving average and then came back to retest the same day. I went long around here, and now we're sitting at $33 because I think the market is anticipating that we are going to have a big acquisition from a major pharmaceutical company that wants to scoop up Viking Therapeutics to use their GLP drug and then start selling it out to suppliers, because this is very competitive with Eli Lilly and with Novo Nordisk. But speaking of which, Novo Nordisk made an acquisition, or announced an acquisition this morning, a $6 billion acquisition, an all-stock acquisition. I forget the exact name of the company, but they're trading at about 1% down. Not worried at all. I think we're going to be just fine with that one. IREN is still up about 4%. Robinhood is trading at about $149 right now. I would consider that about flat. NBIS is about flat today after even that ClickHouse interview with the CEO. I don't think that was very big news. I think that was pretty much, what you'd expect on it. Oh, look at that. AMKR gave back its triple V gains from yesterday. And that's actually pretty interesting because this sucker was up 2% yesterday. So if you wanted to buy into AMKR, well, we're right back to where we closed yesterday. So, you can go ahead and enjoy that, do your due diligence. I provided the link earlier for the spaces with Amit, as well as Stock Talk Weekly. Go ahead and check that out. I believe they call that Edge or something. I forget the exact name of the spaces, but yeah, go ahead and check that out. Do your due diligence, guys. Always do your DD before you buy into something. AMD at all-time highs, not new all-time. It actually was at new all-time highs when the market opened, but then now it's getting sold off. Is AMD going to be red today? I don't know. I mean, that's the same thing that happened before. You saw AMD open at pretty much all-time highs the other day after their 10% stake news, or how they're giving OpenAI 10% stake in their company, and then it pretty much sold off. And now we're sitting here at all-time highs in AMD. Amazon got rejected on the 20-day moving average, and now it's moving down. Very interesting to see. Very interesting to see on that one, but going to observe that action. Rubrik, something that a stock that I'm very bullish on in the software sector, data security per se, and cybersecurity. They pulling back a little bit here, but they did kind of reject that 50-day moving average yesterday, or somewhat rejected it. But likely, I think they're going to come back and break through that. We'll keep a look at that one. BMNR is pulling back a little bit. They're actually, let's see here. Why is my chart not updating? Maybe it's not updating. That's weird. I have here. Oh, that's the reason why. Okay, so Carisdale, I'm assuming Carisdale Capital bought in at 59.20. On the short report, they cited 59.20. So I'm assuming that's when they bought, or that's when they sold short. So they're actually in the green right now, according to that short report. So best of luck to those shorts. I hope your faces get ripped off very handsomely. Let's take a look at some other stocks over here. How's everything else doing? China's selling off a little bit over here. China has been on a crazy bounce, but still above the 20-day moving average. Alibaba, which is the largest hyperscaler in China, one of the top 10 largest hyperscalers in the entire world. Still above the 20-day moving average. That chart still remains bullish for me. Would I buy here? Probably not. I bought back in like the 117s area with leverage, and I sold at $1.35 like a dumb A. So we'll see what happens today. NVIDIA is at all-time highs today, guys. All-time highs. Congratulations to everyone who owns NVIDIA. Should I play that cowbell again? Probably not. I'll do the cowbell another time. But yeah, congratulations to all NVIDIA shareholders. Tesla's pulling back about 1%, but still above the 20-day moving average, which is still in a bullish trend. Netflix, this is something that I pointed out. And the reason why Megacaps are super important when it comes to indices is because they make up like 40% of the indices. So what I usually do is I look at the charts for the Megacaps, and it gives me a good sign of where the indices are going to be headed. Tesla's above all the moving averages. In fact, we might get, sorry, that's not Tesla, that's Netflix. Tesla is above the 20-day, all the moving averages, and the 20-day, remember back in the end of August when everyone thought Elon Musk was going to, bring Tesla down to zero because he was focusing too much on other stuff in another political party and not focusing on his own company, making his own shareholders. Well, that dude bought $1 billion worth of stock. Meanwhile, the Uber CEO sold stock, not being bearish Uber, but he bought $1 billion worth of his own stock. We got the crossover on all the moving averages. Tesla's here pretty much made a near all-time high the other day. Like, dude, bullish Tesla. Congratulations to everyone who bought in Tesla. People are calling out IREN. What is going on with IREN, guys? What is going on with IREN? Holy smokes. We are at 6. Yeah, okay, you know what? Hold on, guys. I might have to sell something here or buy something back because I sold put credit spreads on IREN. No, you know what? I'm serving you guys. I'm not going to do this right now. So if I lose my money, I lose my money. I'm here for you guys. All right. That's a dedication I'm doing right here. Space Mob. What's going on with the Space Mob? Wow. IREN is at $64. I guess that's what it means. Bitfarms is up 5%. CIFR mining is up 2.3%. CRWV is about flat, but they had an 8% day yesterday. So, just chilling with that. TeraWulf is up 7%. Nebius went green, $123. Next decade, they're building multiple trains and facilities in Texas. Speaking of which, Mr. Patel and I were thinking about doing a little bit of a meetup in Rio de Grande in Texas, which is where they're building all of their train facilities. And that'll be very interesting to do a little bit of a meetup there. And Matt Money, I want Matt Money to come too. Matt Money is the freaking man. All over the place right now, guys, but I apologize for just going over these. I mean, look at the entire energy sector when it comes to nuclear and LNG. Like, it's green today, dude. We're green. As Amit says, we're green, baby. We're green. Bull recovered yesterday, still below the 20-day and the 50-day moving averages. They do not have a 200-day moving average because they have not been open for 200 days, right? Is that what it is? Yeah. They had that. Did they? Yeah, that's right. They went IPO less than 200 days ago, so we do not have a 200-day moving average. Am I buying bull here? I'm not buying bull here, dude. I'm sticking with the informidable leader. I'm sticking with Robinhood, guys. I'm waiting for that Robinhood dip to buy some more, but appreciate that. All right. So what else do we got here that's really standing out? Software selling off a little bit. Snowflake is down about 1%. That's cool. CrowdStrike is actually back above 500 bucks. I did not know that yesterday. That's actually pretty interesting. Cloudflare is still above 200 bucks, but broke below the 20-day moving average, but it's all good. GitLab is above the 50-day moving average, below the 20-day and the 200-day. That chart is not looking too great. But DigitalOcean is like kind of a mini hyperscaler. They don't necessarily own their own data centers. They do generally rent out their own compute. But this one I'm pretty bullish on. The chart looks amazing. We had the crossover of the golden crossover over here on the 20-day, on the 50-day as well as the 200-day moving average. If we come back here to test that 20-day moving average, I might look to do a short to medium-term long in DigitalOcean, but I did go long DigitalOcean with leaps back in 33 bucks, and I sold it around $36. So maybe a little too soon, but it's all good. Quantum is at 75 bucks for IONQ. QBTS. This is the D-Wave one, so then QBT is quantum computing. Yeah, this one looks pretty bullish day. Did you guys see that? That tweet showing like the headquarters of Rigetti? Like the headquarters for a $15 billion company. Let me actually see if I could find that tweet over here. Hold on. I thought that was funny. I'm not shorting Rigetti. I'm not shorting strength. Like this is ridiculous strength oh wow, this guy went short Rigetti. Why? Like why? Why are you going short Rigetti? Why are you going short Rigetti in a massive bull market right now? Like it just makes no sense why people are going short. Yeah, this apparently this is the headquarters of Rigetti, a $15 billion company. This is the headquarters. I don't know if it actually is, but this is what was floating around Twitter. So I just thought that was pretty funny. Not short, not long Rigetti, but like, I mean, this is a meme stock. Like this is a meme stock. Celsius. Okay. Yeah, Celsius is up pretty nicely, but you saw if I go back here on this chart, like this was when you should have went long if you missed a boat. This is also when you should have went long recently. This crossover right here is when you should have loaded the boat and went long. I did not, but congratulations to everyone who went long. Everyone who went long Celsius. I think Tevis did, but congratulations to you guys on that one. Hibbs is green on the day. How's it? Okay, we're above all the moving averages, which is great to look over here. I think Hibbs is going 100 bucks. I am a Hibbs shareholder, so I'm very biased. So we'll see what happens with Hibbs. Oscar is above all the moving averages. We did have a little bit of a pullback the other day after Trump announced that positive news on ACA Healthcare, which is most of their clients when it comes to Oscar. No longer an Oscar, but that was a very nice stock to own. Oh, ASTS, how the Rocket Lab doing? Okay, Rocket Lab is at 65 bucks. It was above 70. No, it was almost at 70 bucks yesterday, but I mean, space is just doing insane right now. ASTS, $85, a little bit of a bounce off that mini pullback from the all-time highs yesterday above $92. Very interesting to see. Lemonade is down about 1.5%. I think once rates come down, we'll start to see some gain and momentum in Lemonade, but we will see. I am a shareholder of Lemonade, and EOS is at 14 bucks. The basically the U.S. battery storage of the entire world. Okay, I'm gonna get to Grab, guys. Grab is down 1%. Still bullish Grab. I mean, nothing's really changed here other than they're pushing all-time highs or at least close to it. A little bit of a pullback here, but we'll see what happens with that one. My price target for Grab actually at the end of next year was 750, and I didn't think it was going to happen in a couple months, but we'll see. All right, we got some more stuff out here. Yeah, I think that goes for most of it. I mean, it looks like over here Amazon is pulling back a little bit after rejecting that 20-day. Apple is somewhat flat. NVIDIA sitting at all-time highs still, sitting at all-time highs. Netflix is up about 1%. And yeah, actually, what Carsdale? How's BMNR doing? Oh, BMNR is down 4%. Wow, didn't see that coming. Did not see that coming. Viking Therapeutics up above 34 bucks. Very interesting to see. Tempest AI actually got approved. Forget the exact news. Let me actually see here. They got approved for something. Oops. They got approved for something. We got about 15 minutes before I got to sign off. So Tempest AI has been chosen for ARPA H, which is a big deal. Tempest AI provides a lot of data, especially when it comes to LLMs for a lot of cancer research. So anything in that positive direction is definitely going to help the stock move. Broke above $100 yesterday. Congratulations to Nancy Pelosi for being up about 300% on her call options that she bought earlier this year. If you followed Nancy Pelosi, then you're sitting pretty nicely. Because where is it? Here it is. Yeah, Nancy Pelosi went long January 2026 leaps. The $20 calls on January 14, 2025, and those contracts are now up over 300%. I mean, you guys want to know if Stanley Druckenmiller is the greatest trader alive? Probably, but she is one of the best traders alive. She was also Speaker of the House, which has a lot of influence on a lot of political initiatives. So that's actually like very interesting to see a lot of these politicians basically buy heavy in stocks that they kind of have a little bit of say in it. And then the stock goes up. I don't know. Coincidence, maybe. Maybe she's a TA. Did a lot of technical analysis. Maybe she was looking at 200-day. But I remember around that time, Tempest AI did not look good. But it's up. It's more than double. Now. So it's all good. It's all good, guys. All right. So, I mean, with that being said, I think the market's looking pretty bullish today. We got him still green in the day. We have BMNR, a little bit of recovery today, but we have Ethereum here. You know, this is actually a very interesting spot here for Ethereum because if it breaks this 20-day moving average right here, I'm not sure how that's going to pan out, but we will see. I mean, we're still pretty early in the day, about 19 minutes into the market open. We have SPY here down only about less than 10 basis points. The Qs are actually down about 26 basis points, but still looking pretty strong, guys. Let's look at some RSIs real quick. Actually, you know what? Hold on a second. While I have this open, I wanted to see real quick if we got any news this morning. Honestly, this is like one of the most dull days when it comes to news. On top of that, you had like the most anticlimactic speech from Jerome Powell, and he wasn't even there. Jerome, you guys can watch it being in the video. Jerome Powell was not even at the community bank conference where he was supposed to make a speech, and his speech was like the biggest nothing burger that we ever seen. Oh, this is interesting. Is this true? Okay, we got some Tesla news this morning. Tesla shares slipped 1.4% after U.S. opens probe into nearly 2.9 million vehicles over FSD traffic violations. Dude, that's nothing. That's nothing. What is that, like a slap in the wrist for Elon Musk? Okay, they're down 2%, pulling below the 20-day moving average. We'll see how that one turns out. I wanted to see something here if... where is this? I wanted to see if there was another good interview to play before I sign off soon on CNBC. It's very likely they end up having a few good things. Nothing really. What is reflection? I never heard of reflection before. Yeah, these are just a bunch of analysts on here talk about different stuff. I already looked at a few of these. There's really nothing too exciting this morning. I already played the CoreWeave CEO talking to Jim Cramer. There was some commentary around circular investing. But with that being said, we have Nebius still up 1.5% of the day. We have IREN pulling back a little bit from their peak. The high day was 64.75. They're now at $62. But it looks like the market is somewhat shrugging off that. We have Open Door at 12 basis points up, which is, I mean, I don't know, could be like 10% down later on today. Meme, which is picked up trading again, is up 1% today. Interesting. Yeah. Ooh, really? Wow. Did they? Oh, word. Klarna and Google Cloud enter a strategic AI partnership. That's actually really interesting. Where is Klarna trading at? I am a Klarna shareholder. Oh, baby. There you go. There you go. So my thesis when it comes to Klarna is that you have buy now, pay later companies, right? Klarna, Affirm Holdings. There's more than a few out there. PayPal also it does partake in the buy now, pay later. PayPal is actually guys, we are trading above the 200-day moving average for PayPal, above $72, which is very bullish. We got the 20-day crossover for the 50-day. Guys, I'm telling you right now, if this 50-day crosses over the 200-day for PayPal, that's going to be super bullish. But that might not happen for some time because we have all of this below the 50-day moving average down here. But like this is a massive, look at this green volume candle right here. It's insane. App 11's down 4%. Wow. Careful with this one, guys. I always I bought a lot of App 11 at $225. There are 3 short reports that came out for App 11 the beginning of the year. One from Fuzzy Panda, one from another company. I forget the name probably because it's not that important. And another one, which is probably the biggest, one of the biggest short sellers out there, Muddy Waters. The guy did an interview on the Compound and Friends. Great guy. He nailed a lot of shorts. He went short on App 11 around $320. And then App 11 pulled back to 225, and around April and stuff, that's when I was buying hard. And App 11 did it 3 times since then. And App 11 has very wide adjusted EBITDA margins. Adjusted, okay? But I'm not going to discount that because they are a software company, AI company, and they're mostly in advertising, ad tech when it comes to the sell side platform, not demand side like TTD. So does App 11 compete with TTD? No, they don't. They don't directly compete with each other. They are in the same industry, but they don't directly compete with each other yet. Adam Ferogi, who's the CEO of App 11, did hint on a conference call that they might be getting into the demand side platform, but not right now. Not right now. There was a probe from the SEC that got released the other day, looking into their advertising practices, specifically fraudulent practices, where they're basically retargeting people. Which basically means, like, for example, let's say you go to Amazon.com and you put in toilet paper there, and it's like, I'm going to buy some toilet paper, right? But then you don't buy it yet, but it's in your cart. It's like, hey, let me go play some Fortnite. And when you're in Fortnite, you see an ad for the toilet paper that you looked at in Amazon.com, and you just click on it. And you're like, I'm going to buy this toilet paper because I was going to buy it anyway, right? So what they're getting accused of by Muddy Waters, on top of a few other short reports, is that App 11 is retargeting people and basically saying, like, to the client who, let's say Amazon in this case, who's advertising on the platform for App 11, saying that, hey Amazon, I got you this customer because of my ad, but it's retargeting because they were going to do it anyway. So that's what, and I'm not saying that's true. I'm saying those are the allegations that Muddy Waters made, and that's likely the allegations that the SEC is making. Do I think App 11's a buy here? No. Okay. I don't think it's a buy here. Dude, this thing went vertical since April. Okay. I get it. People bought at 550. I did not think it was a buy at 550. I think there is better prices to come for App 11 if this probing does continue to take place. Now, you can go ahead and buy it for long term. Long term, go ahead, baby, do what you got to do. But short to medium term, I'm not a buyer of App 11. So we'll see what happens with that one. I see you guys talking a lot about NVIDIA. Where's NVIDIA at? And I'm going to drop off in a few minutes here. Appreciates you guys. Whoa, 1,600 people. Holy crap. NVIDIA is at 195. What is that market cap? Wow. They're about to be a 5 trillion market cap. That's insane. That is truly insane. AMD at all-time highs, a bit of a recovery in the middle of the day. Amazon is still a little bit weak here. We'll continue to monitor that one through. NVIDIA, wow, they broke 195. They broke 195. Insane. Someone has to look at BMNR. Yeah, we're around $58. So Carousel Capital is winning on the short right now. MSTX is MSTR below the moving averages. Not buying this. I would not buy MSTR right now. It's up to you guys if you want to, but me personally, I would not buy this. Bitcoin, super bullish right now. Ethereum, yeah, we need to see that recovery. We need to see that recovery, guys. All right, appreciate you guys. Thank you for coming in. I'm gonna have to drop off in 1 minute. Was there any other charts you guys wanted me to see? I'm trying to scroll through here real quick. Go dark mode, please. No, dude, I don't mess with dark mode sometimes. But this isn't dark mode. This isn't dark. But when it comes to Twitter, I prefer light mode on my computer. I do dark mode on my phone. I go mobile with dark mode. Weeble versus Hood. Is this a real question? Is this a real question? Hood all the way. Hood all the way. Dude, they're okay. I don't want to get into it. Maybe I'll do a video another time regarding this entire thesis, but I am so bullish Hood. Long term, I would still buy here. Short to medium term, I would not buy here. NBIS is launching. Are they? Okay. Up 1.5%. Up 1.5%. But yeah, guys. Looks like App 11's below $600. The market just doing its thing right now. Whoa, Viking Therapeutics up 35. Wow. Insane. Freaking insane. SMCI is about flat. I'm bullish SMCI in the short to medium term. Micron hit new all-time highs yesterday. Let's see if it makes a new all-time high today. Marvell Technology, which is a designer for ASIC chips for Meta. Oh no, actually, I think that's Broadcom. For Microsoft, they make their Mi accelerators. For Amazon, they design the Trainium chips, or they co-design the Trainium chips, and a few other companies as well. This one, I think, is it's going to get up there. So I'm bullish Marvell right now. I do have leaps on Marvell, which are up pretty nicely. Yeah, enough about the wins. I mean, what am I losing on? I mean, I'll tell you guys something, and I'll be honest with you. I went long toast with leverage around here. Around here. And I should have read the chart. I should have gotten out when we broke $40. This was something that I was eyeing on, but see, this is why moving averages matter. So I ended up trimming half of my toast position at a loss. And I was leveraging it. So it was a pretty big loss. And I'll explain that to you guys another time. But am I bullish toast long-term? Oh, super bullish. But I'm trying to be strategic here. I want to see a recovery of the 200-day at the very least before I get bullish again. But right now, this chart looks terrible. IREN is back above $63. Let's freaking go. Oh, dude, Path is... Wow. What a recovery. I wonder if Kathy Wood still has this stock. Does she still have... No. Did she sell? You got to be kidding me. Did she sell? Oh my goodness. She was buying the dip so hard in this. I don't know why she does that. Hey, but you got to give it to her. She's got Tesla. I don't think Kathy is a bad trader or investor. Definitely had a lot of high beta stocks, but I think that the trading kind of bites her in the butt sometimes. But hey, we're in a bull market and she's winning. NBIS almost $125 again. That is looking good. Amazon 223. IREN, baby. IREN. I want to see BMNR get back above Cares Day. I want to see Cares Day Capital get smoked on the shorts. I want to see them get smoked. But can't win them all, right? Can't win them all. If this drops and they win, then can't win them all. All right, guys, that is about it. It is 6:59 a.m. Pacific time. And yeah, that is it for me, guys. Appreciate you guys being here. You guys are great. Amit's going to be back later on today, hopefully, and likely doing the market open. I will not be doing these when he's around, but I will look to fill in the shoes and step in for AK Media. I'm not a contractor for AK Media. I'm not affiliated with AK Media, but hopefully a partnership soon. We'll see. With that being said, guys, appreciate you all. Market is somewhat flattened down. Oh, wow. The Qs are actually coming back while SPY is flat. And the RSP is the equal weight S&P 500, is underperforming the S&P 500, which is bullish tech. All right, guys. So with that being said, green skies out there. Hope you guys enjoyed this one. If you're following on Twitter, go ahead and check out my YouTube channel. Link is over there. Thank you, 1,600 people, for joining. And all the super chats. Really appreciate you guys. Thank you, Christopher Patel, for coming on here. And shout out to all my homies out there, especially CEO of AK Media, Amit. I hope he does well with his root canal. I would certainly hope that he recovers very well. Root canals are not fun. I've gotten a root canal. I was very much out of commission for like 24 hours after that, mostly because they shot me up in drugs during that thing because that thing hurts. Yeah, actually, no, I'm thinking of a wisdom teeth removal. Wisdom teeth is brutal. Root canal, he'll be back here later today. Maybe he's going to be like kind of lisping a little bit. I don't know. We'll see. But anyway, guys, thank you for coming on here. Really appreciate you. Love you guys so much. AK Media to the moon. Bye, guys.